Some of the, I mean, the first question that comes to mind is that, from a chart development capability, this is great, but the applicability to large data sets, non-SQL data sets, like whether it's protocol buffers or Avro or some other, in big data format is no longer SQL.
Right.
So I'd be curious to find out what your vision is for enabling truly large data sets.
Yeah. So our real policy on truly large data sets is to work with like a summary table model. And so we will be building out tools in the future. And right now we think it's something that's actually very specific to each person. So if people have these extremely large data sets, then they're probably making or need to make their own set of summary tables. And then from there, there's that extra step of actually like, what do you do with the summary tables? You need to visualize those, and Chartio works fantastic on those summary tables. Also, it works really well with very large SQL databases. We do a lot of things with caching, and we have an asynchronous MySQL connection, so we can actually run queries that take many minutes even hours over the cloud. Yeah, so there are all these things that we are doing to handle large data sets. And if you are a company who's really large, man, it depends on the type of data you're really dealing with. Like one of the examples that we always work with is Stack Overflow, and they're one of the largest websites out there. They're very large, and we use their data all the time, their usage data, and all those metrics, and it runs quite quickly. It's very fast. So anyway.
Yeah. Question: can I use the product, or do I need to be handsome like Steve?
You can use. You're handsome enough. Yes. Anyway, it's really. We don't have any like web camera technology that blocks people out. It was an exclusive private beta though. But it's really the end goal is to make it so that the non-engineers can use it as well. But really, it's also a great tool for engineers, just in that you don't have to write SQL all the time, that you can have this drag and drop interface. So we really think that makes such an order of magnitude difference on the friction level with querying and discovering your data. The data discovery is really a lot more possible with, all I have to do is drag over and then see it broken down by region or by age group versus actually like changing the SQL and then piping it into Excel or some other kind of chart. Just being able to see that really quickly is a big deal.
Rand, do you want to ask the same question that Vitaly just asked? Just curious.
I was actually going to ask about security and latency.
I'm sorry, no. Vitaly had another question. So
just a follow-up question. What is your vision for like going 3 years forward with Chartio?
Yeah, so the product vision is to do a lot more with drill downs and interactive ability. So especially once you already have like a dashboard of charts, as I showed Steve had, and when you see a dashboard and you see, oh, there's a spike this day, there's a spike this day, what happened? And so you can click it and drill down, and then from there, there's another spike, and you keep following it, and you can drill down all the way even to the low level where you say like, okay, here's actually a list of all the users that joined that day, and here's all their emails. You can email or call one of them to see like what happened, why did you join that day? Maybe there was something you didn't know about, or and even click down to a level where you just pull up that single user and the information on it. And so our really high-level goal is to make this data something you kind of browse through and experience. And so we're really trying to just immerse our users in the data and try to make databases which are okay for engineers, and they work great for what they do for computers, but something that you can really kind of immerse yourself in and browse around.
Yeah.
So.
I love the focus on sense making and making it easy to sort of explore the data and build these ad hoc charts. One of the things that I'm curious about, though, is the hosted nature of the product and its access to the data sets.
Right.
With many of our companies, we host a lot of PII, a lot of sensitive information that we don't necessarily want to leak.
Yep.
How is the integrity of the data and the connection maintained when you're generating these charts on your hosted service?
Yep. And so anytime that there is like a SaaS BI product, you know, you are using some other hosted service. And as I mentioned a bit in the explanation, like the other competitors have you like do backups, and they just have a copy of your data. And this, I don't quite understand why people do that. Maybe there's like a cleaning step where they get rid of that sensitive information before they do the upload. And what we do is we actually have a really quick, easy install script, and we set up a read-only user and a reverse SSH tunnel from your server to ours. And we have some really brilliant, one of them's here today, you can ask him more questions, network security engineers who designed this system. And it's really great. It's just port forwards. Nothing else is allowed except this port to be forward over SSH from your server to ours. And yep, that is a requirement, and it makes people a little bit, in the early stages, a little bit uneasy. It's definitely way better than opening a port, which is how we first started. You'd have to open a port. But we think it's really going to follow a trend in security where, you know, 5 years ago when EC2 first launched, everyone, you know, kind of thought it was crazy. Why would I put all of my software on someone else's machine? You know, this is a crazy idea. Why would I put it on someone else's server and trust them to manage the computer and stuff like that? And now it's kind of just a no-brainer because there's all these benefits you get with using a service like EC2. And we feel that there will be that same trend with doing this analytics and trusting other people with your data. So,
Cool, thank you.
Paul?
A few comments. One is it's an interesting observation that I've seen, and that is as one descends through the organizational chart, the level of interaction and the level of sophistication increases. At the C-suite, one tends to look at static displays. As one progresses downward, we have people who like Tableau. We're exploring a package called EdgeSpring, which has edge marks.
They're better looking as you go down in the company, too. When you get to the C level, not so good, right?
No comment. So one question is, how do you position yourself in that space? Because it's sort of in the middle. You know, you have a lot of graphics and displays which are pretty common. The kind of stuff I'm interested in being at the level I'm at is beyond this to be able to visualize information that might give me insights for machine learning algorithms, understanding. Are there, you have to be able to display clusters, dendrograms, more sophisticated kinds of things, geographic displays, et cetera?
yeah.
15 seconds or less, your time is...
Okay, so we've created our own charting library, and we'll be open sourcing it and actually allowing other people to make all kinds of other different chart types. And so that is the goal, to just eventually be able to chart anything. So clustric matrix, whatever kind of charts you need. Right now they're basic, but soon they won't be. So.
Okay, Dave, good job. Thank you
you.
very much.